Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this learning session today. I'm Christine Rendell, your immediate past district governor for District 5360. And at the end of my year, I didn't really slow down. I decided to go in as chair of youth service with Joyce Li as my chair. I welcome all of you for attending tonight, and hopefully you get a lot of benefits out of this learning session. As you know, there are tons of acronyms in Rotary. So we thought we would share and break down some of these acronyms that are related to youth service programs and exchange. And Joyce Li is actually going to run this tonight, and I'm going to watch for any chats. Please make sure you put your questions in the chat room because we can't record the Q&A for future reference. So if you could please put any questions you have in the chat, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Joyce, and she's going to take us through this wonderful learning experience. Thanks, Joyce.
Excellent. Welcome all. All right. So welcome to Youth Service. There is a lot of acronyms, and this is a very brief intro. There's a lot of deep information in all the programs, but hopefully this gives you a starting point. So welcome. Most of you know the former DG, Christine. She is super passionate about all things youth and much loved by all the youth in our district. She joined our community this year, fresh off the DG stream, like she said, and she took over Jane Audette's former role, who moved to Montreal. So some of you guys may or may not know me, but here's a quick bit about me. I first joined as an interactor in 2010 at Westmount Charter School, and they are sponsored by the Rotary Club of Calgary Centennial. So I became president in my senior year in 2013 and had a great experience. The Santa Ball fundraiser that they host annually is still one of my top Christmas events to go to. And a fun fact is that I worked my first job at a golf course because of a Rotarian I met at Calgary Centennial. And then I later went to University of Calgary, and I ended up joining the Rotaract Club of Calgary Metro. And I kind of joined them instead of the UFC club to do something non-school related. And later that club moved to MRU. And I was a Rotaract co-president with one of my friends, Sarah. And I have made so many amazing friends through Rotaract. Shout out to Corey, Erica, Megan, Chelsea, and they're all currently Rotarians. So I've also met many amazing Rotarians, and there are absolutely too many to name, who really took the time to mentor me, got to know me, and they just gave me random life advice, financial advice, things you just never learn in school. And ultimately, a Rotarian actually helped me find my career in public health policy. So I was kind of going through some post-secondary school blues and couldn't figure out what I wanted to do when I grew up. And a Rotarian really mentored me through that. So during my Rotaract days, I also got to visit many Rotary clubs along the way with a bunch of my friends. And the club that stood out to me the most was the Rotary Club of Calgary Fish Creek, who I am now a proud member of today. I also may or may not have pestered a bunch of past Rotaractors to join me there. So this is a reminder to you all to make every youth visit to your club count, because it has to be memorable for the right reasons. And into the present future, I'm enjoying my time on the Youth Service Committee. All right, so here are all the Rotary Youth programs that are sponsored by at the district level. So first up, we have Interact, and we'll go through this in a bit more detail in the next couple slides. We have RYEC, Ryla, RYPEN, RYE, and NGSE. So first up, what is Early Act and Interact? So Early Act is a program designed for elementary and middle school kids. It's aged 6 to 12, and it provides for the foundation and natural succession into Interact, Rotaract, and then Rotary. It is a fairly new program to our district. I think we only have 2 clubs currently for Early Act. However, that is currently expanding as we speak. And then we have Interact. So Interact is for high school age students. It is a youth program in schools for youth who want to connect with others in their community or school. And it's designed to develop their leadership skills and discovering the power of service above self. So it's really, truly finding out how leadership can be fun. And the benefits of Interact, there are so many to list, but it really allows you to connect with leaders in your community and around the world. It helps you take action to make a difference in your school and community. It allows you to discover new cultures, promote international understanding. It allows you to become a leader in your school and community. And most importantly, at the age of 12 to 18, what you care about most is to have fun and make new friends around the world. And what's involved with an Interact or even an Early Act Club is usually they organize about 2 projects every year. One specifically to help their school or local community, and another one that promotes international understanding. So Rotary Club that sponsors Interact Clubs help mentor and guide interactors as they carry out projects and develop leadership skills. And also feel free to ask questions as I go through these slides. Within Interact and Early Act, we have different kind of youth conferences. So currently we have 2 conferences. One of them is Interaction and the other one is AIPF. So Interaction is a day-long conference, and it's really designed to bring all the youth in Interact clubs around the district together for a day. It's really designed to establish unity and lay the foundation of cooperation and really serve as a way to network and develop relationships within each of the clubs. And then AIPF is an all Interacts presence forum. It's a day-long summit for Interact leaders across District 5360, and it's designed to help them collaborate and connect and try to do some cross-school projects, especially for those international components. And it's designed to build connections and find opportunities for collaboration, whether it's for projects or even ways to expand the Interact program into a more cohesive unit. Both of these events are chaired by amazing youth committees, and they work endless hours planning these events, like endless hours. The amount of emails I've received at like 2 a.m. in the morning from these events shows their passion for really bringing these programs to life. So here's some pictures. Let's see. Here's some pictures of kind of Interaction and AIPF. It's a really great experience. There's a lot of Rotary mentors that come out to help at these events. As you can see, there's Manol in here, Christine, Mary, you guys are all in here. And really, if you get a chance to come to these events, it's an amazing time, and there's just so much collaboration happening and truly an amazing experience. So one of the questions I get asked the most is in regards to Interact, and specifically what to do with an Interact club. So I think one of the most important things to do is to foster a strong relationship with your Interact club. And there's a couple ways to do that. So first of all, sponsor an Interact club. If you don't sponsor one already and you're interested in doing so, Corey is here to help you out. So what to do once you have an Interact club? So in order to really strengthen your relationship, there's a couple things I do recommend. Nominate a Rotarian advisor from your club to really connect with that club and kind of be their support, one-on-one support, and answer the emails and be that person that invites them to club meetings, volunteers, fundraisers. Half the time they just want to listen, to like talk to you and get to know you. So really making sure you extend that invite is truly an important element. Another thing you can do is sponsor Interact members to attend Rotary conferences and other Rotary youth programs, and that will help further their personal and leadership development. Another thing you can do is implement scholarship programs for graduates. That really recognition element is really crucial. Another thing you can do is mentor and assist the Interact project that they have to do and any other goals that they have. A lot of times what we think are things that they should already know are not necessarily things that they do know. And really providing that support element and guiding them through processes like planning conferences or planning fundraising events. Another thing you can do is provide support in completing the Rotary Interact citation. So you can find out more about this on the Rotary website. Much like how Rotary clubs have a citation element, Interact does as well. And like most importantly, communicate, talk to them all the time. Like reach out if you haven't heard from them in a while and check in and see if they need anything, whether it is like a financial element or really just a mentorship aspect. Talk to them. I can't stress it enough. So on our Interact committee, we have Hiba. She's the district Interact representative. And we also have Interact regional coordinators, Dorothea, Debbie, Teresa, and Kim. And they all play an important element in kind of getting to know our youth and making sure that we have a cohesive, united program. Especially since our district spans so wide and there's so many Interact schools. So first up for our camps is RYEC. What is RYEC? So in 2018, Alberta Youth Entrepreneurship Camp and Community Futures partnered with our district to become Rotary Alberta Youth Entrepreneurship Camp. It's the same great camp, it's just a new name. And RYEC is a week-long camp that takes place every August for youth ages 13 to 15, and it's designed for individuals who are interested in learning about business and entrepreneurship. So the main focus of this camp is to educate youth about marketing, advertising, preparing a cash flow statement, and writing a business plan. So truly business and entrepreneurship focused. Campers set up their own business and they use real money, which they borrow from actual bankers. The last day of the camp is called a business day, and campers there have the opportunity to open and operate their businesses. They also get to participate in many fun recreational activities throughout their week at camp to really work on their leadership and personal development skills. So RYEC accepts 60 youth every year. This camp is free to attend to the campers, and the cost to sponsor a camper is $1,000. But very worth it, and there's also an opportunity for 10 previous campers to attend as youth leaders. So on our RAG committee, it's led by John Lockhart. I don't quite have the specific names of all the committee members for all the camps. It kind of fluctuates from year to year, and we kind of leave this up to the committee chairs to take control of, but they're very much valued team members of the youth team. Next up, we have Ryla. So what is Ryla? Ryla is a Rotary Youth Leadership Award. It's an annual conference hosted by Rotary International Districts around the world. At Ryla conferences, young leaders discover themselves and each other and their communities. Ryla graduates support and challenge one another to form a better society through a Rotary International model of service above self. And successful applicants for Ryla are passionate citizens, leaders in their community, individuals who are active in student government, school clubs, community programs, and athletic endeavors. Brian Carnahan asked a question, do all RYEC attend the same camp? Yes, they do. They all attend the same camp. Back to Ryla. We are actually one of the districts that hosts one of the most successful and longest running Ryla programs in the world. It is an amazing camp, and a couple of us have been out there to help out, including myself, and it's a fantastic program that really builds on the leadership and personal development skills that everyone really needs. So leading our Ryla committee is Khaled and Karim. They were both former Ryla attendees, as you can see from their current photos and their much younger selves. And again, fantastic committee team. Khaled and Karim speak very highly of them, and many of them are interactors in our district as well. So next up is RYPEN. What is RYPEN? So RYPEN stands for Rotary Youth Program of Enrichment. It really promotes the personal growth, connections, and leadership in a safe environment by providing challenging opportunities and tools to empower youth who have demonstrated courage and perseverance in their daily lives. So it really brings out the leader within you, and it is really focused on personal development and building up those leadership skills and bringing it out of you if you don't already have it. We have a lot of students that do attend RYPEN and then move on to attend Ryla as well. So currently on the RYPEN committee is Peter Imhoff, and again, much valued committee members. All of them in fact are actually past RYPEN attendees like the other camps. Next up, what is RYE? So RYE is our Rotary Youth Exchange Program. We have options for both a long-term exchange and a short-term exchange. The objective of RYE is to empower young people to develop leadership skills while promoting global understanding and peace. So there's two different exchange programs. One of them is a long-term exchange. Students for that program would leave for a 10 to 11 month exchange, starting in during August, and they return in June or July. They're expected to attend school full-time, even if they have already graduated high school. They live with 2 to 4 families, and they are ambassadors for the Rotary District Club and Canada. So really representing us. Short-term exchanges works a bit differently. It's a short-term summer exchange between families, and it really presents an opportunity for students to advance their knowledge and world understanding by allowing them to live abroad for a brief period of time over summer. This is a true exchange in the fact that participants live with one host family in the destination country for approximately a month in the summer under the sponsorship of their local Rotary Club, and then they will switch and return back home with their host brother and sister from abroad. And again, that happens for a month. So since summer is 2 months, that's kind of the short-term exchange program and how it works. So what is Rotex? So Rotex isn't quite a camp. It is actually for students upon the completion of their youth exchange. So once they've completed their year abroad, whenever that was, they often ask the questions of, how can I stay involved and how can I help out? So RYE is your answer. Rotex, it's Rotary Youth Exchange alumni who provide vital support to the District Youth Exchange Committee by helping out student orientations, planning and hosting inbound events, promoting the program at schools, clubs, or at district events. All alumni are encouraged to participate in any way possible, whether it's attending meetings to plan, sorry about that, by attending meetings to plan for inbound events. They give presentations on behalf of your local Rotary Club to promote the program. They can even help out at our orientation sessions. Really just kind of the next step and to kind of help our alumni team. So for our RYE committee, it is led by Fran. Here's a bunch of pictures of our committee members, kind of past and present. But yeah, much fun, much love. This is our next program, New Generation Service Exchange. This is led by our committee RYE. It's a fantastic program and fairly new to our district. It's a short-term customizable program for university students and professionals up to age 30. So this age for this is 18 to 30, which is very different from our other youth programs. But the goal of this exchange is to combine their professional goals with a humanitarian project. What are the benefits of this program? It really allows them to make connections with service-minded community leaders in another country. It allows them to learn another language. It allows them to build professional skills and gain international experience. It also allows them to travel and explore a new culture while giving back through service. This exchange works a bit differently than our youth exchange. With your host Rotary district, you'll plan activities that can include networking, relationship building, humanitarian service, professional development, and leadership training. This exchange can last from a few weeks to 6 months. It can also be arranged for individuals or groups, and it does not need to be reciprocal. The cost really varies, but oftentimes it is covered by the attendee. Really, the role of the host club is to arrange for local transportation, housing, and activities. And to reduce expenses, you kind of help provide homestay options, arrange no-cost internship or job shadowing programs, and maybe offer other financial assistance. We've had a couple students come through. Pietro came to Calgary from Italy for engineering. Lena came to Drumheller from Germany for geology. They both stayed about 6 weeks and attended and participated in Rotary Club events. And I feel like I'm also missing one more student. Marge, you might need to help me out on that. So this kind of brings me to our youth grant. So clubs can apply for a grant award between the ranges of $250 to $2,000. The club must have its own funds in the amount of at least 50% of the grant and use the combined amount of funds to support the costs relating to the Rotary approved youth programs, which is all the programs that we just talked about. The application is linked there, but I can email it out easily. The complete list can be found on the application. Again, take advantage of this grant if you aren't already. It's a fantastic way to really help support our Rotary youth programs. All right. So, why youth? So, why support our youth programs? I put a picture up there of Christina Hassan. I think she kind of explains all about why we do this. She was a past youth exchange student. She's a former interactor. She's a past Ryla attendee. She's a former Rotaractor, and she's a current Rotarian and does amazing work. So a lot of these interactors that we talk to, they express many hopes and dreams and fears of young people all around the world. I think there are challenges and trends that are the forefront of why Rotary invests in youth development and leadership. A common theme that we see now come up, just concerns over issues like mental health, addiction, suicide, depression, and isolation. It's important that we acknowledge it, and they often question why these are issues, and often tragic situations continue to happen. And really, these are 4 areas that can greatly impact the outcome of an individual's life. So family, self-identity, goals, and a true understanding of service above self. And this matters to us because by investing in our programs and services that help develop one's goals and improve the reality of many among our community, it really helps the youth be successful and strong contributors in our community. So I think this quote really talks about it all. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. Vision with action can change the world. So really help connecting youth's vision with actions. All right, so if you look at our current kind of youth programs, if you did a quick SWOT analysis, you would kind of see a couple items. So first of all, strengths, we have amazing programs. I think no one would argue with me on that. Fantastic programs run by fantastic committee chairs. There's amazing district support from all the district teams, really youth focused and understanding of our programs. There's also passionate committees behind all the programs, particularly from past youth camp attendees. They always come back and want to help out. So something we want to talk about is the weakness, and it's the communication cohesion between the programs. Oftentimes you get the Ryla team being on the Ryla aspect, RYPEN being on the RYPEN aspect, RYEC being on another branch over there, and not really getting to know each other. There's also a lack of awareness and participation from all Rotary clubs, whether it's a financial barrier, not knowing who to send to each camp, not knowing that the camps exist, kind of all of those elements. Another weakness is bridging youth programs into Rotary itself, particularly increasing Rotary membership. So the opportunity there is to increase Rotary membership, to increase brand awareness of all our Rotary programs, to encourage professional development. And a threat to this would be competition with other non-Rotary youth programs. Financial costs are always increasing, and lack of full club participation. So what kind of that looks like includes participant engagement at all levels, from choosing a kid to send to a program to introducing them back into alumni program when they come back, or incorporating them into your club events and inviting them out to meetings. So what's next? So we kind of have a couple of goals that we want to, I guess, meet in this next year or two. The first one being cohesion of our youth programs. So really ensuring that we're connecting and communicating with each other. And one of the ways we're going to start doing that is by doing a joint training camp for all the camp counselors, doing first aid, talking about mental health, and talking about, with Doug, youth security protections. And really, that's going to be a really big element to getting all the camps together, just because they also run at different times during the year. There's also going to be ensuring that there's opportunities and encouragement for Interact clubs across the district to collaborate. So Interaction or AIPF are really important, crucial conferences for them, and ensuring that we have a cohesive Interact program. Another thing we're going to do is expanding our current youth camps. Ryla is going to be branching out and doing a cancer care camp. It's kind of put on hold currently, but it is in the works. CALD is also hoping to plan a Ryla in the Rockies. So because our Ryla in our district is designed for high school age students, a lot of Rylas in other parts of the world are actually designed for Rotaract age students. So wanting to make sure that we meet that another group of students and another age range. And another thing we want to do is to make sure we expand to other groups, our Indigenous youth, LGBTQ plus communities, and making sure that we're an open-minded and just making sure that we meet everyone's needs. Another thing we want to focus on is Alumni Outreach, making sure we strengthen the alumni group for all youth programs, and really facilitating that transition into Rotaract or Rotary, and increasing our Rotary membership. Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, let us know if you guys have any questions.
Yes, and like I've been answering questions as we've gone along here, Joyce. Had some really good ones. As a reminder, not a reminder, but just so all the attendees know, we are going to send out all the attendees a copy of the PowerPoint of Joyce's slides that she worked so hard putting together. Great presentation, Joyce. Also, we will have this downloaded on our district homepage as well. under the YouTube videos that we have out there already. Another point I'd like to bring up is for Youth Exchange tomorrow night, and there will be a presentation to the clubs from Youth Exchange in a forum format starting at 7 p.m. So if you haven't registered for that already, club presidents, please do, and members. Very informative about explaining what Youth Exchange is all about. Plus, we are in a gap year right now with exchange programs and our other programs as well. So that gives us time to plan for the future. So we are doing that right now, as Joyce has presented. We are looking at more programs. We are looking at becoming more diverse. We are pretty diverse as we are, but there are gaps that we need to make sure we're involved with our disabled youth, our LGBTQ2+ youth, and more of our newcomers and even our refugees that are now living with us. So a lot more communities that we want to make impact with our programs. Another reminder about the Youth Exchange is they also have a session on Saturday. So tomorrow night is session 1 for the club forum for Youth Exchange. And on Saturday at 9 a.m. is the second one. Also, very soon, you'll see on our district website in the YouTube videos, videos that have been prepared by John Crosser, who is Youth Service Chair of the Fish Creek Club, and has given us permission to upload them to our YouTube channel. So you look forward to seeing those. I have viewed them and they are pretty awesome. And I thank John so much for his contribution. He just stepped into this role and boy, he's taken the bull by the horns on that one. Also, when we spoke about the alumni for past programs, we do have recently established this year a Rotex Alumni Association. And that is led by Maya Povey. And my goodness, I lost the guy's name. Help me out.
Paul Siskiyou.
Thank you very much. And so we do have an alumni association that we're hoping to see maybe that it can expand, or we can work on getting another association or a support group started to bring in the past alumnus from all of our programs, because this is how we grow the family of Rotary. We look at our early act to kind of start the grooming, Interact follows, Rotaract, all the programs and camps, gets so many young people engaged in service and community and peace, and we're losing so many people. So we want to make sure that we continue to stay in touch with those programs. So so those participants, excuse me. So pretty exciting stuff is going to be coming up while we're planning this out. We're really looking forward. Hopefully we can do this safely starting next year. Maybe even by the spring, we can start bringing in the programs that Joyce mentioned to connect all of our youth groups that we have and start working together rather than apart, because together we can do a lot more. I'm just checking a couple more questions in here.
I'll take Karen's question. Karen asked if we would do kind of like a canned short version to introduce other programs. I think absolutely that can be something we can do. Age is a bit of a problem with some of the programs. So if we went to Ryla and talked about RYEC, it's kind of a bit too late because RYEC's target age range is 13 to 15. So we just kind of be mindful about that. I think the best way to do it is really talk to like our district youth team and ensuring that everyone gets to know each other's programs.
Yeah, and to add to that, the short videos that John Crosser is producing are on each program that we have in each camp. So, and there's short videos, just 2 or 3 minutes long, which will give encapsulate what those programs are. What else do we have in chat, Joyce? Let's see. Okay, Ria Graham is saying they are looking for Interact and Rotaract members who would volunteer to be on their membership committee. So so contact Ria Graham, and I'm sure there are members out there, both those programs, that can absolutely help you out with your membership committee. Ria, please send us that request on emails just so we can keep track of it, and I'll make sure the word gets out. Margie Boyens, Chair of NGSE, she's looking for an NGSE champion in Lethbridge and in Red Deer. Please contact Margie if you're interested, because that is a fantastic newer program to our district, and once this pandemic eases off, we are going to look forward to physically doing that again, but in the meantime, there's a virtual in the fall sometime. Let's see, any others? Oh, wait a minute. And I asked if you could please put your questions in the chat box, because the chat box is recorded, whereas the Q&A is not. So these are really good questions, and we'd like to see them in the chat as well. First of all, Dietrich is asking, is Thursday and Saturday long-term exchange programs not at 7 p.m.? No, Thursdays is at 7 and Saturdays is at 9 a.m. Brian Walton asked Joyce, have any of your circle of friends attended the adventure camps at Agribition, which is sponsored by the Rotary Club of Regina? Their club, Calgary at Stampede Park, are considering doing something here around Stampede when the dust settles. Very preliminary, but thank you, Brian. Let's stay in touch about that one.
Yeah, I don't have any friends that have attended. I personally haven't attended myself either, but it could also be a fairly new one. But yeah, we can definitely, that's something we can look into.
Great. So Margie Boyens, they're very well experienced with the New Generation Service Exchange. They've had 2 already. They had to return. I was fortunate enough to meet one when I was on my visits last summer. And Margie has volunteered to make a short presentation to any of your clubs about the NGSE. And Christine Hassan, she's there. She's coaching Margie this year, so she would make herself available to help out with that. So,
but I think, yeah, Margie recently did a presentation with Rotary Club of Calgary Connect, and I think she did a fantastic job. I'm sure she would love to give your club a presentation on NGSE.
Awesome. So if there are any more questions, could you put them in the chat, please? Right now, I'm just still seeing another question here. Let's see. Yes, Karen Johnson is saying they're trying to promote starting interact clubs, and RYPEN wants the students to head back to school. We're looking forward to working with you on those. I know Peter Imhoff and Hiba Syed would be thrilled to help you out with that, Karen. And Rick has said Google Adventures in and see what shows up to see what programs Rotary offers in adventure programs.
Yeah, I think that from RYPEN is a great idea. Oftentimes we don't find the barrier being the lacking of students wanting to join the club. It's oftentimes an administrative back-end issue with the admin team and trying to find a good teacher champion for them as well. Yes,
and keeping them engaged once they do charter a club is vital for the Rotary clubs who sponsor them. And Rotaract clubs can now sponsor Interact as well. So, you know, keeping them engaged, we're here to support, of course, and all the chairs of these various committees and the programs are totally open to helping wherever they can. So it's been a pleasure hosting tonight. If you do not have any more questions, again, a reminder that this PowerPoint will be sent out to the attendees, and it will also be posted on our district website in the YouTube video section. And again, a pleasure this evening. Thank you. I'm going to check and see if there's any more last questions. Yeah, and Peter Imhoff says you can email Karen Johnson as per this presentation, or rypen5360@gmail.com if you are interested in RYPEN. And Peter and Karen will help you out with that. In the meantime, if there are any other questions you do have, maybe following this session, please feel free to drop an email to Joyce and I. We'd be happy to help you out with that. Just checking one more here. Nope, that's been excellent, so thank you. And yeah, good.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Feel free to reach out.